Hello, and welcome to today's edition of King David's Guide to Emergency Preparedness. I'm your host, Catrielle, and in today's segment, I want to talk to you about fire safety. Fire is often used as a metaphor for distress or turmoil. Today, we will learn from King David how to protect ourselves from the fires of life, and not only to survive, but to thrive in the face of uncertainty and danger. Family, in these unprecedented times, we need to be prepared at any given moment for the unexpected. Wildfires, earthquakes, floods, COVID-19 and quarantine, riots, our loved ones' lives being snuffed out by senseless violence or rogue race soldiers, otherwise known as police. The whole world appears to have gone crazy and is on fire with torment, turmoil, disease, and death. Now, more than ever, we need to be prepared in case of another emergency. Because of this, I thought it prudent to remind ourselves of the first rule of thumb in any fire: stop, drop, and roll. Step 1, stop. As we begin to smell smoke and confusion and chaos tries to take over, the first thing we need to remember to do is to stop. Stop whatever we're doing and do what King David did. I will lift up my eyes to the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahuwah, maker of heaven and earth. Psalms 121, 1 through 2. Throughout his life, King David was no stranger to distress and uncertainty. He faced many traumatic events: war, famine, his wife being abducted, and the death of his son, just to name a few. King David had firsthand knowledge of how to put out fires, and he gave us a prime example of what to do. In one of the most quoted books of scripture, the book of Psalms, King David said this: "In my distress, I called upon Yahuwah and cried unto my Elohim. He heard my voice out of his temple, and my cry came before him, even into his ears." Psalms 18:6. And in my distress, I cried unto Yahuwah, and he heard me. Psalms 121. By these statements, King David demonstrates that when we're in the midst of trouble and surrounded by fear, confusion, and chaos, it's imperative that we remember to stop what we're doing and seek Yahuwah. As King David put it, "I sought Yahuwah and he answered me and delivered me from all my fears. This poor one cried out, and Yahuwah heard him and saved him out of all his distresses." Psalms 34, verse 4 and verse 6. Which brings me to step number 2, drop. Once we stop, the next step is to drop. Drop to our knees and seek Yahuwah for wisdom and guidance. King David said, "The steps of a good man are ordered by Yahuwah, and he delighteth in his way." Psalms 37:23. And thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Psalms 119, 105. As King David well knew, in times of darkness and uncertainty, it's often very difficult to know what to do, where to go, etc. We need Yahuwah's word to light our way, to order our steps, to guide us in the way we should go. Yahuwah said to King David, "I will instruct thee and teach thee in the way which thou shalt go. I will guide thee with mine eye." Psalms 32:8. Just as Yahuwah was willing to guide King David through the turmoil in his life, so also is Yahuwah willing to guide us through the turmoil we face. I keep hearing everybody saying 2020 came in with a bang. They're talking about what a horrible year it was and how it doesn't seem to be getting any better and how there's no end in sight. They're asking where to find the reset button. Shake my head. Yahuwah sees the end from the beginning. 2020 was not a surprise to him. 2021 didn't catch him off guard either. Yahuwah told our cousin Ike, known on the streets as Isaiah the prophet, this: declaring the end from the beginning and from of old that which has not yet been done, saying, my counsel does stand, and all my delight I do. Isaiah 46:10. Because Yahuwah is omnipresent, all-seeing, and sovereign, he is well capable of helping us to navigate and circumvent the happenings of the world today. As he guides us with his eye, we are provided for and protected when everyone else is failing and falling victim to what's going on around us. Again, King David drives this point home when he said, it is Yahuwah that girdeth me with strength and maketh my way perfect. He maketh my feet like hinds' feet and setteth me upon my high places. He teacheth my hands to war, so that a bow of steel is broken by mine arms. Thou hast also given me the shield of thy salvation, and thy right hand hath holden me up, and thy gentleness hath made me great. Thou hast enlarged my steps under me, that my feet did not slip. Halal Yahuwah. Psalms 18:32-36. In light of these facts, it makes perfect sense to, 1, stop what we're doing, and 2, drop to our knees to seek Yahuwah, which brings us to our third and final step. Step number 3, roll. Now that we've taken the time to seek Yahuwah, we can be confident that he has heard our prayer and will answer us and deliver us from all our fears and distresses. So what now? Where do we go from here? I'm glad you asked. It's time to roll. Roll with the set-apart spirit. In other words, be led by the set-apart spirit. In order to navigate these crazy times, we must use wisdom. The set-apart spirit provides us with the wisdom we need in order to properly execute the instructions we receive from Yahuwah. King David was led by the set-apart spirit. As a matter of fact, he relied so heavily on the set-apart spirit that when he committed adultery with Bathsheba, he begged Yahuwah not to take his spirit away from him. Cast me not away from thy presence, and take not thy set-apart spirit from me. Psalms 51:11. Clearly, King David knew that without the set-apart spirit, he would have no chance of surviving the hell he was experiencing in his life. The wisdom the set-apart spirit provides is just that crucial. Even the wisest man who ever lived, King David's son Solomon, had this to say: wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. And with all thy getting, get understanding. Proverbs 4:7. And the fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of wisdom. And the knowledge of the set-apart one is understanding. Proverbs 9:10. On Yahusha, who is the word of Yahuwah, see John chapter 1, rested the set-apart spirit. Cousin Ike did us a solid when he gave us a heads up regarding Yahusha like this: and the spirit of Yahuwah shall rest upon him, the spirit of wisdom and understanding, the spirit of counsel and might, the spirit of knowledge and of the fear of Yahuwah. Isaiah 11:2. Yahusha, like King David before him, was a living example of how to operate during unprecedented times. He, like we Israelites today, was born into a world that hated him, under oppressive rulers with the threat of death looming at every turn. How many times did rulers try to stone him and he slipped away through the crowd? Or they sought to kill him but could not find him. There was sickness, disease, poverty, racism, all of the same things that we face today. But yet and still, Yahusha was able to fulfill his purpose and become our Messiah. Why? Because the set-apart spirit rested upon him and he used wisdom. Because he communed with the Father daily, kept himself set apart from the world, and remained humble and obedient before Abba, even unto death, he was able to navigate this world in the face of uncertainty. Yahusha said, but the Comforter, which is the set-apart spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, he shall teach you all things and bring all things to your remembrance whatsoever I have said unto you. And howbeit, when he, the set-apart spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth, for he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak, and he will show you things to come. Did you catch that? The set-apart spirit will bring all things to your remembrance and show you things to come. In other words, when you are led by the set-apart spirit, you will be reminded of the word and given the wisdom of how to use it to prepare yourself for whatever comes next. That's yawesome and amazing. But how do we do it? How do we be led by the set-apart spirit or roll with the set-apart spirit like King David and Yahusha did? Man, you're asking some really great questions today. I'm glad you asked. When King David's son Solomon, remember, he was the wisest man that ever lived, asked Yahuwah for wisdom to properly lead Yahuwah's people, Yahuwah answered Solomon's prayer for wisdom with this response: if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. And as for thee, if thou wilt walk before me as David thy father walked, and do according to all that I have commanded thee, and shalt observe my statutes and my judgments, then will I establish the throne of thy kingdom, as according as I have covenanted with David thy father, saying, there shall not fail thee a man to be ruler in Yasharal. 2 Chronicles 7, verse 14 and verse 17. There we have it, folks, straight from the mouth of Yahuwah himself. 1, humble yourself. 2, pray. 3, seek Yahuwah's face. 4, turn from our wicked ways. 5, be obedient to what the set-apart spirit is showing or telling us. That is how to roll with the set-apart spirit. So when the fire is raging all around you and the furnace seems 7 times hotter than before, remember, stop, drop, and roll. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of King David's Guide to Emergency Preparedness. We are out of time. Yahuwah willing, I'll talk to you all again real soon. Barakah, Ahaba, Ushalom, Shalom.